The flickering glow of the monitor was the only light in my home office, a solitary beacon against the encroaching Friday night in 2018. My eyelids felt like lead, heavy with the weight of a full workday and 3 extra hours hunched over a report. I desperately wanted to finish, to reclaim my weekend, but my mind kept snagging, adrift in a sea of fatigue. A groan escaped me as I pushed back from my desk, stretching my stiff limbs. My eyes, gritty and strained, swept across the room. That is when I saw it. My office was on the 2nd floor, with a window offering a clear view of the front yard, the driveway, and the small porch. At first, I saw nothing, dismissed it as a trick of tired eyes, but then a subtle shift. A shadow, not quite solid, hovering near the sidewalk that led to my front door. My heart gave a strange little thump. Someone was out there, or at least something that looked like a person. I stood there, transfixed, for what felt like an eternity, but the shadow barely moved. A cold dread began to seep into my bones, a feeling far more profound than mere annoyance. I left the office, the silence of the house pressing in around me, and crept downstairs. Leaning against the heavy oak of the front door, I peered through the peephole. A man. Mid-40s, bald with a scraggly gray beard. He stood absolutely motionless, facing my door, not knocking, not ringing the bell, not making a sound. Just standing. The longer I watched his frozen silhouette against the dim porch light, the more my mind churned. How long had he been there? Had he seen me watching him? The thought sent a chill crawling up my spine. My quiet home, my sanctuary, suddenly felt exposed, vulnerable. A desperate need to understand, to dispel the growing unease, surged through me. I unlatched the deadbolt, took a deep breath, and swung the door open. The man did not flinch. His eyes, dark and flat, met mine, then drifted past me, scanning the hallway within my house. A wave of ice washed over me. He was looking inside. I instinctively pulled the door inward, shielding the view. "What are you doing here?" I demanded, my voice tighter than I intended. He continued to stare at me, his face a mask of utter indifference, offering no response. Just the unsettling, silent gaze. "I don't know what you want, but you need to leave," I said, my voice hardening before slamming the door shut. His bizarre behavior was terrifying, maddening. He had ignored me, stood there like a statue, infringing on my space. The anger briefly overshadowed the fear as I heard his footsteps finally receding from the porch. A shaky breath escaped me. I watched through the peephole until his silhouette vanished, then returned to my office, trying to shake off the encounter and refocus. 5 minutes later, just as I was beginning to find my rhythm again, a sudden, brutal crash reverberated through the house. It was a single, violent impact against the front door, like someone had thrown their full weight into it. My heart leaped into my throat. Anger, hot and irrational, instantly replaced the lingering fear. He was back. I sprang from my chair, hurtled down the stairs, my hand already on the doorknob. I wrenched it open, intending to unleash a torrent of fury, but the words died in my throat. He stood there, closer this time, his eyes burning with an unsettling intensity that instantly doused my anger and ignited pure, unadulterated terror. My gaze dropped, drawn by an almost imperceptible movement to his side. He held something concealed, clutched tight against his leg, but I could make out the glint of a small, thin handle. A knife. My blood ran cold. The man's entire body seemed to convulse, a primal twitch, and he lunged. I reacted on pure instinct, slamming the door shut with all my might, the sound a dull thud, then the desperate struggle. I fumbled with the deadbolt, my fingers numb, while on the other side I could hear the frantic click and turn of the doorknob. He was trying to get in. Finally, the click of the lock, the reassuring thud of the deadbolt sliding home. The man paused, then began to pound on the door again. A furious, relentless assault that vibrated through the very foundations of my house. Just as quickly as it began, it stopped. Footsteps pounded down the porch stairs across the driveway and faded into the night. I stood there, gasping for breath, my body shaking uncontrollably as adrenaline surged through my veins. The image of his eyes, the glimpse of that knife, burned into my mind. My sanctuary felt utterly violated. My hands clammy, I stumbled back to my office and dialed 911. The man was never seen again, and no one ever offered a real explanation for what happened that night. But the chilling truth I live with is this: some doors, once opened, can never truly be closed again. Have you ever faced a moment where a simple choice, open or close the door, became a terrifying gamble with unknown consequences? If you were in my shoes that night, knowing what you know now, would you have opened the door to a stranger who just stood there, silent and unnerving? Share your thoughts and tell me what you would have done in the comments below.